Hello and welcome to the Omni Coalition News Show, aka not news show. Welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. My brain is just I don't know why. I've just been on a steady decline of sanity. Anyway, this show is all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information come from the Smart Device application, Today in History, what happened today in history, historical calendar, and the website onthisday.com. I gotta change. This is the script from 1 year ago on this day. Like, wow, things have changed. For links to those sources, the music done by Carrera, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Aoxander, and I am joined by...
Protoblob.
Yes. Today is Moon's Day, also known as Monday, January 2nd, 2023. So, for second day of the new year, at least for us out here in California, you're already, you're approaching your third day here soon, a couple hours. But anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? Do you want to start us off here?
Okay, I'm gonna start you off after scrolling up. And in 69, we have the Roman Lower Rhine army proclaims its commander Vitellius as emperor.
Huh.
And he said nice.
Sorry?
He said nice.
Nah. Oh, God. Yeah, he did.
In 1492, Muhammad XII, the last emir of Granada, surrenders his city to Ferdinand II of Aragon and Isabel I of Castile, ending both the Reconquista and the centuries of Muslim rule in the Iberian Peninsula.
Huh.
And in 1570, Tsar Ivan the Terrible's march to Novgorod begins.
Huh. Yeah, like while you're reading, I'm looking at the script from 1 year ago. And I have a lot of work to do, but yeah, so let's see, 1570, so yeah. Then we also have, sorry, what?
I put some stuff in the TDH script channel.
Ah, I see. Let's see, there it is. Yeah, like I'm looking at 3 different sources, this, and this. So let's see here. Yeah, you have a 1791 here, so we're gonna move on up into, 1788, Georgia was the 4th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. Well, that's cool. I'm just going to do this here. There we go. This is better. And we also have in 1791, Big Bottom Massacre in the Ohio country, marking the beginning of the Northwest Indian War. Ooh. That's not good. The Big Bottom Massacre. Let's look that up, and I don't think that's a Big Bottom anybody wants.
Yes. That's not what we want.
It was near present-day Stockport, now in Morgan County, Ohio, in the U.S. And let's see here. There's 12 to 14 killed. So, that's not good. For further reading on the Big Bottom Massacre, please refer to the underbar of the description below. The link to this wiki will be in there right now. So, but let's see here. We also have... In 1811, U.S. Senator Thomas Pickering was the first senator censored, revealed confidential documents communicated by the President of the U.S. Okay, so censored, like so not censored like, you know, bleep, but like a census, I think, or is this, or maybe it is censored as in bleep. I don't know. But yeah, he almost blew a whistle or something, and I got a DM from Vic. Oh yes. All right. And we also have another historic event here in 1814. Lord Byron completed the Corsair. I don't know what the Corsair is. Let's see here. I gotta reset the music here.
Poem?
I'm sorry?
Probably a poem or a novel or something like that.
Let's see here. Lord Byron. Byron completes the Corsair.
And holy shit, he sells 10,000 copies later on the day of publication.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
So, is it a book or?
It says Byron's The Corsair, Anthology of Ideas. It introduced the most Byronic of Byron's heroes, Conrad. So yeah, it's some kind of book. Let's see here. Byron, intentionally or unintentionally, weaves himself into his poetry, stamping it with his entire persona. His characters are part of himself. The poems are pieces of his mind. The events are based on experience. So it's like a poem and such. So whatever it is. So.
It's like a collection of poems, like an anthology.
Yeah. Anyway.
In 1831, The Liberator, the weekly abolitionist newspaper, begins publishing by William Lloyd Garrison in Boston, Massachusetts.
That's cool. I wonder if it's still around.
I think we talked about it a few days ago when it was founded.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it would not still be around. It achieved its goal. It brought about the abolition of slavery. You know, well, not by itself, but like it helped. So.
Yes. In 1832, the first curling club in the United States, the Orchard Lake Curling Club, has opened.
And we're talking about curling, not like, you know, the workout curling. We're talking about like the sport.
Yes.
Curling.
On the ice where you have to, I don't know the English term, but you essentially have to clean the ice so the curling thing, the puck goes in a straight line or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, people with like those broom brush things, like before the slide ball or whatever that is. So.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a picture here with like a whole bunch of curling stuff. It shows you the different spins, the curls, and all the things. That's an interesting image right there. So, huh.
And 1 year later, in 1833, the re-establishment of British rule on the Falklands.
Ooh.
We also talked about it recently that the British demanded that, and it seems that was
so
that
it looks
the
like
thing?
they got what they demanded.
Yes, it was the same year.
Yeah, so like we talked about it yesterday, they're like, oh, we demand sovereignty over the Falklands, and the next day they got it.
Wow. And it's your turn again, I think.
Okay. In 1839, we have the first photo of the moon taken by French photographer Louis Daguerre. And I have up here, this is the picture. This is the very first photograph of the moon. So I think that is, hold on a second, open image in new tab. There we go. That's what I want. So yeah. So that's the very first photograph of the moon. And I actually have here, okay, come on, stop it. I actually have here a 1840 and 2019 comparison, although that's super low resolution. But yeah, you can see like drastic difference despite the pixelation of the image. Like, you know, obviously photography evolved and, you know, became better. But that is awesome, dude. So.
Yeah.
We also have here, and so you did 1842, the first U.S. wire suspension bridge for general traffic opened in Pennsylvania. Let's see if I can find an image of that. Oh, okay. I think this is it here. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Well, this wasn't the very first here, but this is at Fairmount, somewhere else. So it would look something like that. So, but that's cool. All the way back in 1842. Wow. We also have a music premiere here in 1843. Richard Wagner's opera The Flying Dutchman premiered in Dresden. And as we all know, the Flying Dutchman, he likes to wear a sock on his ghostly tail to keep it warm. Well.
Yeah. Wagner, of course, was one of the most famous German composers of operas.
We had like if anybody remembers, like the houses out here in my city that I was talking about that got torn down because we were talking a couple days ago about like historical architecture and all that stuff, you know, and I talked about the Chrysler Building and everything. The houses were called the Wagner houses out here. You know, speaking of Wagner, I don't think they're related, but yeah, like they're old houses that were around like you know, before Richard Nixon was born out here. So.
Yes. I will post a link in the TDH script. Maybe you can put it in the underbar if it loads in the United States.
If you don't mind posting the links in the research, so that way I don't have to constantly scroll on the same channel.
Okay, I'll post it in the research.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Where am I?
1865.
1865. One more moment. The welterweight. I cannot read those names.
Con Orem?
Welterweight Con Orem and heavyweight Hugh O'Neill brawl for 185 rounds before darkness ends legendary bare knuckle boxing match in Virginia City, Montana.
Darkness? From the Y-Files? He was back there? He ended that boxing match? Dang.
Yes.
Man. I don't know if he's watching Darkness, but dude, like, you know, like, why would you in that like 185 rounds, dude? Like, you know, let him keep going. Come on.
Yeah, and you had a great match against Big Fist, so that's awesome. Anyway, in 1879, Australian fast bowler Fred Spofford dismisses 3 English batsmen with consecutive deliveries during the third test at the Melbourne cricket ground for Test cricket's first hat-trick.
That's cool. So apparently cricket does hat tricks too now. So we're gonna have to educate Alice on that. Like, hey, hockey's not the only one with hat tricks. So
maybe we should play cricket noises each time we mention cricket.
Cricket.
Anyway,
Cricket wicket.
And Alice Sanger in 1890 becomes the first female White House staffer.
Nice. So that's cool. So, like, you know, that's not somebody who actually, like, you know, was like a maid or something, right? Like somebody actually in the cabinet, if I'm correct.
I don't know. It just says staff.
What
so
is a White House staffer? The White House staff is the entity most responsible for ensuring that the administration's policies are comprehensive and coherent, that decisions are informed, and that those decisions are successfully implemented. So somebody who actually, like, you know, as I said,
yeah.
Not a maid, not a cleaner, not a servant, but somebody actually, like, who's in, you know, the working functionality of the White House. So the first female in 1890, that's cool.
And not only that, she was the presidential secretary. So that's a very high rank, but she was appointed by President Harrison. So
my Lewinsky senses are tingling.
I don't have any information on that, but there's a sketch of her, and she was not ugly. So
well, yeah, of course not. Secretary of the White House, you gotta be gorgeous. So there's still a glass ceiling there, unfortunately.
So I think it's your turn, or?
All right. 1893, the first U.S. commemoratives and first U.S. stamp to picture a woman was issued. Queen Isabella, patron of Columbus. Huh. So Queen Isabella, patron of Columbus, stamp 1893.
Yeah, that's the Spanish queen.
Ooh, okay. So this stamp here. So that's the first, 1492 to 1892. Look at that.
Yes.
We also have. I'm sorry.
It's probably worth a fortune today if you have one of those lying around, especially if it's stamped.
Oh yeah, well, like, you know, stamp collectors, like, there's what's the word for stamp collecting? Actually, it's a weird word. Stamp collecting word.
I mean, if it's postmarked, I mean.
A philatelist. That's weird.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're a philatelist out there, you know, keep an eye out for this stamp. You know, it's the first, as it says, the first U.S. commemorative and first U.S. stamp to picture a woman. So, that's a big one. We also have in 1900, E. Verlaine began manufacturing 7-inch single-sided records in Montreal. Cool. So, you know, music and stuff like that.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. You know, single-sided records, like, there's no other reason to have records, you know, other than music. Unless you're, like, you know, recording, like, you know, like political stuff or, like, you know, court, you know, whatever, the minutes of meetings and stuff like that.
Well, you could record the sound that is played together with movies.
That is true, yeah. Instead of relying on the pianist during the silent film era that Alice was talking about the other day. Oh, shit. We also have up here in 1903, U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt shut down the post office in Indianapolis, Indianola, Mississippi, for refusing to accept its appointed postmistress because she was black. Wow.
What?
So it's like, like they're like, oh, we don't want a black postmistress. Okay, well, I guess you don't have a post office now. Get with the times. Come on, Mississippi. Well, and I believe we're going back to you in 1905.
All right. Elara, a satellite of Jupiter, was discovered by Charles Dillon Perrine in San Jose, California.
Huh. All right. Yeah. Cool. Elara.
I guess that means the moon of Jupiter, or?
Yeah. Well, probably. Let's see. Elara, Jupiter.
I mean, what else would a satellite be? Asteroid, maybe?
Well, yeah. Well, it's probably not like. Well, hold on a second. What's the difference between a satellite and a moon?
Yeah, it's a moon.
Well, yeah, it's a moon, but is there a size requirement for it to be a moon versus just an asteroid as a satellite?
I don't know, but it is named after the mythological Elara, who was the mortal princess, the daughter of King Orchomenus, and mother of the giant Tityos by Zeus.
Huh. Well, we're both right. You're more right, by default. It says moons are actually natural satellites. We already knew that. A satellite is anything that orbits a planet, so by definition, a moon is a satellite. It's not man-made, so it is called a natural satellite. Other satellites are man-made. So, this is obviously a natural satellite, what we were talking about, Elara, around Jupiter. But maybe they're not talking about it as a moon because it's not, big enough, because Jupiter has, 65 moons or something crazy? So,
yeah, but it is a moon.
It is. So, yeah. I was just wondering, if... Because, a moon is a satellite, but is a satellite a moon? I was just wondering, is there, a size discrepancy or whatever? But apparently not, so...
Also, until 1975, it was simply known as Jupiter 7. It has a mean radius of just 43 kilometers, that's 27 miles. So it is 2% of the size of the moon Europa.
Europa, yeah. Yeah. That's really small. But hey, that's cool, discovered in California. Nice.
Oh, so actually asteroids can also be moons, it seems.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, satellites, moons, asteroids. We need to start having better definitions. We can't have 3 words meaning the same thing. English, stop Englishing.
It says that moon might actually be an asteroid.
Yeah, probably a captured asteroid.
Yeah. So. Anyway, our viewers are invited to post their knowledge about it on the comments.
Yep.
In 1906, Willis Carter receives the United States patent for the world's first air conditioner.
Nice.
And we talked about yesterday the first office building with an air conditioner.
Yeah, that was 1922, right? Or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, so we were doing that about with the introduction of Oka during our extravaganza on Saturday evening. So.
Yeah.
We also have some sports history. In 1912, International Lawn Tennis Challenge in Christchurch, New Zealand. Norman Brooks and Alfred Dunlop defeated U.S. Maurice McLaughlin and Beals Wright 6-4, 5-7, 7-5, 6-4. That's weird. Australasia, unassailable 3-0 lead, wins with 4-0. So yeah, they slammed them. We also have in 1913, Mahatma Gandhi left the Tolstoy farm in Transvaal, South Africa. All right, whatever he was doing at that farm, his job was complete, I guess. And we have some sports history in 1918. After repeated clashes over pay with the Brooklyn Robins owner Charlie Ebbets, star right fielder and future Baseball Hall of Fame manager Casey Stengel was traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Arrgh! I didn't know Pirates worked in trade. I thought they just took. So.
Yeah.
And I believe that was my 3.
Yes. In 1921, the first religious service radio broadcast in the United States by KDKA Pittsburgh.
Huh.
So if you want if you want to hear your religious service radio, you know where now.
Yeah.
If they are still around, we don't know.
You know what? Let me see if they are. Hold on. KDKA Pittsburgh. Uh, KDKA 80M radio station. It is a Class A clear channel AM radio station owned and operated by Audacity Inc. And licensed to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, United States. Its radio studios are located at the combined Audacity, Pittsburgh facility in the Foster Plaza on Holiday Drive in Green Tree, and its transmitter site is in Allison Park. They are a talk radio, all news radio, so they're no longer doing religious stuff, it seems. So, but things change, you know.
But that wireless transmission through the air did stay around, it seems.
Well, yeah.
In 1929, the United States and Canada agreed to preserve the Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn.
Yeah, they're also the site of not they, but the surrounding area of important sports events such as the World Series of Poker. And in 1933, our favorite cricket legend, Don Bradman, holds off England's hostile pace bowling to score an unbeaten 103, leading Australia to a 111-run victory in the second bodyline test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Oh, nice. Cricket.
So now you know why he was knighted. He did whatever that said.
Yeah, 103 leading. Dang, dude, that's. I mean, like, he's a cricket legend.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of do it, but at this point, I kind of don't want to understand cricket. But like, you know, like I want to understand it a little bit so I can fully appreciate how awesome this guy was. So. Yeah,
and because nobody understood it either, and they had to drink one over it. In 1934, the first state liquor store opens in Pennsylvania.
Dang. So yeah, they couldn't get over it, and 1 year later they just started drinking. At least they waited a while. So.
Yeah. And unfortunately, another year later, in 1935, Bruno Hauptmann trial begins for kidnapped murder of Charles Lindbergh's baby.
Yeah, that is a tragedy about the whole Lindbergh baby, but we've spoken about this before. Charles Lindbergh was a Nazi supporter. He actually he was out in Germany, and he talked with several of the higher ups in the Nazi Party in the early 30s in Germany, and actually said a lot of anti-Jewish remarks, and he was a supporter of getting rid of them, and what Hitler's initial plan was.
Look, even if it was Hitler himself, if his baby was murdered, I would want the guy that did it brought to justice.
I agree. That's why I said, it's a tragedy that the child was involved, because, it wasn't, it was a different life. But I'm saying, now, I have no idea. I haven't looked into it, and maybe the motive, is known. But I would say probably because, because he's an American hero. A lot of people, Charles Lindbergh, blah, blah, blah. But, there's skeletons in the closet, and maybe someone's like, oh, hey, let's fight against this Nazi, So, I don't know.
I don't think that was the. It was a German immigrant, Bruno Richard Hauptmann. He was sentenced to death and executed, but let me see.
All right. While you're looking at that, I'm going to go say something to Dad real quick. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a ransom.
Well, yeah, it was a ransom. Most likely.
But I remember that, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So he wanted some gold certificates and so on, and a very horrible story.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the most likely case scenario is that, of his fame, his notoriety, his position.
No, Yeah, but he wanted the money.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on up into 1936. The first electron tube to enable night vision described, St. Louis, Missouri. Huh. That's interesting. So the first electron tube to enable night vision was described. Not presented, but described. So they're talking about night vision now. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
study cat's eyes enough, you start to learn a thing or two. So.
Yes.
We also have in 1942, during World War II, the 28 nations at war with the Axis powers pledged to make no separate peace deals. Yeah, so no back alley things, you know, no political, like, you know, rigmarole, stuff like that.
So Joseph Goebbels wanted total war, and Joseph Goebbels got total war. Be careful what you wish for.
Yep, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it. We also have in 1944 the first use of helicopters during warfare, the British Atlantic Patrol. That's right, like a patrol unit. They're going around like a Coast Guard. So
yeah.
Let me look that up here real quick. I want to see if there's a picture of those helicopters. Images. Let's see here. Oh yeah, these. Okay, pontoon. Yeah, that's cool. We also have, in 1947, Mahatma Gandhi began a March for Peace in East Bengal. That should be highlighted. So.
That's a huge one.
Yeah, well, like a lot of the ones that are not highlighted that we've been, that you saw here, should be highlighted. So maybe we should start like making our own source, like making our own On This Day website,
Yeah, it was his final march, I think, for peace, because just a bit over a year later he was assassinated.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh. But hey, when they're trying to kill you, when they're trying to shut you down, when they're trying to do something against you, you're doing something right.
Yeah. Anyway, in 1957, in the first of 4 meetings between the fighters, Gene Fullmer wins the world middleweight boxing title with a 15-round unanimous decision over Sugar Ray Robinson in New York Madison Square Garden.
Huh.
We talked about it before, but Sugar Ray also was mentioned in We Didn't Start a Fire by Billy Joel.
We didn't start the fire.
Speaking of great music, in 1958, Dmitri Shostakovich's second piano concert premieres in New York. So we have Mr. Shostakovich again.
Mr. Shostakovich.
And another year later, in 1959, the USSR launches Mechta, also known as Luna 1, for the first lunar flyby and the first solar orbit.
Once again, the Soviet Union kicking our ass in the space race, among other things. So.
Yeah.
We also have, in 1960, Senator John F. Kennedy announced his candidacy for U.S. presidency.
Which is actually quite fitting, because he said, before the end of this decade, we will put a man on the moon.
Not because it is easy, but because it is hard.
Yeah.
Yep. Pardon me, I had to sneeze. We also have in 1964, we have a failed assassination attempt on President Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. The first president of Ghana. Dang, they waste no time there. Like, first president, assassination, let's go. Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah.
And then 1965, speaking of assassinations, someone who will eventually, unfortunately, will receive one of those, we have Martin Luther King Jr. began a drive to register black voters. Yes. Yes. So.
Yeah. And, one of the greatest Christian activists of the 20th century.
Yeah. And then in 1965, we have the New York Jets sign future Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath to a $427,000 contract over 3 years, pro football record at the time. So $427,000 in 1965 would be the equivalent of what today? $4,039,691.11 today, which for a 3-year contract seems a little bit on the low side, especially for football. So that seems very much on the low side, unless you're just a bench warmer,
it was a record at the time.
Yeah. That has since been outrageously broken over and over and over again. Oh.
Yes. In 19 sorry. In 1966, the first Jewish child was born in Spain since the 1492 expulsion. So that was the same year in which Columbus rediscovered America.
Yeah. So let's see here. 1966 minus 1492. It took 474 years for the Jews to begin having children again in Spain. That is.
Yeah.
That
is horrible.
Yeah, that is awful. Like, dang. Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
In 1968, Cecil Day-Lewis is appointed as British Poet Laureate by Queen Elizabeth II. We talked about that before, what that office means.
Yeah, British Poet Laureate is essentially like, like a poet writer, speech writer, like something to do with like the textile, the literature stuff, in the actual office. The governing body of the UK. So.
And the South African cardiac surgeon in the 1968, Christian Barnard, performs the world's second heart transplant on Philip Bleibauch.
All right. Hopefully this one was a little bit more successful, because the first heart transplant, I believe, that's the one that he lived for like another 8 or 11 months or something, and then he died of something else. But probably his body was in shock, and it didn't really know how to treat him, as well as we know today, obviously, post surgery and such. But
it depends on what you would consider more successful. He only lived to August 1969.
Well, this 1969 is really concerning here.
So that's 18 months after the heart was transplanted.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, I had my 3, so it's your turn.
1969, Australian Rupert Murdoch gained control of the news of the world. That is very worrisome right there. Rupert Murdoch is, of course, the guy who owns Fox News as well as Sky News Australia. He is a known raging liberal leftist, guy, and that makes me wonder, like how could a news organization that's apparently the voice of the right be owned and controlled by someone from the left? Wait a minute. What better way?
If you allow my conspiracy theory, Fox News is controlled opposition.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, what better way than to manipulate the minds of the people who are against you politically or oppose you or otherwise not on your side, than to control those that they watch, that they idolize, that they look up to, Not just Fox News, but Sky News Australia, as I said, and several other news outlets and everything that are supposed right-wing are owned by a lefter. So nobody looks into that. This is the same reason why I'm highly suspicious about, Orange Man and Rocket Man. So, let's see here. We also have in 1969, the once influential daily sports newspaper Soviet Sport declared Czech superstar distance runner Emil Zapotek a public enemy after he supported Democratic wing of the Communist Party at the start of the Prague Spring. Ooh. Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
So. We also have in 1972, Mariner 9. Where is it? Oh, actually, yeah. Well, that's down here. So, 1972, Mariner 9 began mapping Mars. Dang, all the way back in 72. Wow.
Yeah, and after that, it also began mapping Snickers and Milky Way.
Yeah.
That was a joke. It didn't map Milky Way.
Well, have you seen that picture of a photo of water on Mars in front of a Milky Way? And there's like, a Milky Way bar, and then there's a Mars bar, and then there's a glass of water on Mars. So.
Yeah, it's a famous meme.
Yeah. I believe that was my 3 right there.
Anyway, also 19... What?
I was just saying, I believe that was my 3 right there.
Yes, I was about to say. Yes. Also in 1972, Australian Open women's tennis. Virginia Wade of England wins her first Grand Slam title, beats home favorite Yvonne Goolagong. We talked about that woman before, with 6-4, 6-4.
Yvonne Goolagong. Yeah, what was her last name? Like Watts or something? Colley.
I
Yvonne
don't.
Goolagong
But
Colley.
but
Yeah.
she and her greatest rival apparently married the same man. So not Virginia Wade, but another Australian player.
We're referencing an article from like 3-4 days ago.
Yeah. So in 1974, a 55 miles per hour speed limit was imposed by Richard Nixon. So if you want to drive into the White House, please don't do it faster than 55 miles per hour.
Well, I wouldn't recommend
That's
driving
for all
into the
you
White House
DoorDash
ever.
people.
But yeah. Yeah, 50. So that has to be like a national speed limit. So like for freeways and highways and such like that. So, which
Yes.
is which is in direct opposition to the actual like very first freeway ever, to my knowledge, the Autobahn, which is just like there is no limit, just go. Like,
No. Before you want to say what I think you want to say, it was actually planned before the Austrian painter came to power.
oh no, I wasn't gonna talk about that. I was just saying like the Autobahn itself. Like I think recently they finally did impose a speed limit, or sometime in the 90s or 70s. I don't know.
No, they didn't.
Okay. But it's wild thinking about like those huge trucks like going down the freeway at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, but because of some racing accidents in the past, they want to limit the speed now to 200 kilometers per hour, which is, let me check it quickly how many miles that is. 124.3 miles per hour would that be.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
So that's still pretty fast, but it's not so fast anymore that you lose completely control over the car.
Yeah, well, out here, at least in California, the speed limit on the freeway is 70 miles an hour. So that's like half.
It depends on how the way goes. The road.
Yeah.
There are some places where there are speed limits because otherwise it would be too dangerous.
Yeah.
But that would be the first general speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
In 1974, the worst fire in Argentine history destroys 1.2 million acres.
That is a lot of acres right there.
So don't buy anything from established Argentine titles anymore because it was all burned down in 1974.
Oh my god. I kind of really wish AJ was like watching this show, just like, oh jeez. Established AJs.
No, I said established Argentine titles.
Yeah. No, yeah, established Argentine titles. There's also established AJs, established blobs, established this, so many established things.
And,
love it.
And established your turn again.
And established 1975, we have the U.S. Department of Interior designated the grizzly bear as a threatened species. Nice. Grizzly bear is, of course, I believe, what's on the flag of California, if it's not the brown bear. Actually, hold on a second. What bear is on the California flag? I think it's the grizzly. So, Monarch the bear. What was he? Is it... Yeah, it was a grizzly bear. Okay. So, yeah. We also have, in 1977, Major League Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn suspended Atlanta Braves owner Ted Turner for 1 year due to tampering charges in Gary Matthews' free agency signing. That sounds a little tricky stuff going on right there. But we also have, in 1978, Rhino Records released their first album, Wild Mania. Never heard of them, but cool. Back to you, Blob. Ooh, this guy. Oh, yes.
Oh, no. It is... Wait, what?
Yeah.
In 1979, Sid Vicious' trial for murder of girlfriend Nancy Spungen begins. I didn't know he murdered his girlfriend.
Yeah, like, I didn't know either. Alice told me about that, like, a couple months ago or so. Sid Vicious, living up to his name, murdering somebody, But,
wait, what?
Yeah, he killed his girlfriend. He spent time behind bars. Actually, no, he died of a heroin overdose, I think, at the age of 21. before he even served, I think. I'm not entirely sure. But dang, 21, man, he threw his life away. Wow. So.
Wow.
What?
Oh my god, and they sold t-shirts with the slogan, "She's dead, I'm alive, I'm yours." Well, that didn't age well.
Neither did Sid Vicious.
Yeah, that's why it didn't age well.
Oh my god.
Holy
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. Let's continue before we...
Yeah.
That was really vicious. In the 1980 Australian Open men's tennis, Guillermo Vilas retains title for the fourth and last Grand Slam win. He beats American John Sadri with 7-6, 6-3, and 6-2.
Oh dang! I know someone who's 6'2".
Yeah, so the 7-6 thing was likely tie breaking.
Yeah, it has to have been.
Yeah. And oh, that sounds interesting. I'll take that one also. In 1982, the Epic in Miami, in 85-degree heat Fahrenheit, the San Diego Chargers defeat the Miami Dolphins 41-38 in overtime in the AFC Divisional Playoff game. A game that set numerous playoff scoring records.
Dang, and yeah, that should be an eye opener. 1982, 85 degrees, January 2nd. That is not winter weather, at all. San Diego, that's just an hour and a half, 2-hour drive south of me. So. We also have at that same time in 1982, we have the Australian Open women's tennis. Martina Navratilova, I can't pronounce her name, Navratilova, won her first of 3 Australian singles crowns, defeated Chris Everett Lloyd 6-7, 6-4, 7-5. Well, look at that, mate.
Yeah. So she was back after the first match, but she turned it around.
Now, hold on a second, mate. We were talking about tiebreakers and stuff, the 7-6 from 1980 here, another Australian Open. But tiebreakers are supposed to happen at 6-6. This is 7-5. What's going on with this?
Wow.
Yeah, that's strange. So, anyway, let's move on up here. In 1993, Annie, I'm still in my Austria. 1983, Annie closed at the Alvin Theater in New York City after 2,377 performances. Holy crap! And why does it not have awards? Usually, with that much, it'd have Tonys and Grammys and other awards. No awards. So that's weird.
Are you sure it didn't have any awards?
Maybe it did. I'm not sure. Is this Annie, Little Orphan Annie or something?
Is it what?
Is this Annie from Little Orphan Annie? Is that what this play is about?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so it must have won awards.
It's loosely based on that. Little Orphan Annie.
All right. And we also have another musical finale here in 1983. Duke Ellington's musical Sophisticated Ladies closed at Lunt-Fontanne in New York City after 767 performances. That's pretty good too. So.
Oh, lots and lots of productions of Annie.
Yes. Right back to you, Mr. Blob.
Wow. All right. We have in 1984 a coup d'etat in Nigeria. Major General Muhammadu Buhari is declared head of state in Nigeria following a military coup.
All right.
That doesn't sound very stable.
No. So there was a military coup and then he was declared. So he got put in, non-elected takeover. Yeah.
Also, did we skip over a few?
I do not believe so. I've been keeping my eye on this on the other scripts section that you wrote, and I've been because what I do now is I actually copy and paste what you put down and I put it in a.
Oh no! I was looking at stuff while you wrote. read those three. Okay.
Okay.
So, in 1985, Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak reappoints Coptic Pope Shenouda III.
Oh,
Yeah. The Coptic, they are some Christians, I think. One of those. Well, anyway, let's go on because
all right.
our viewers probably can look it up if they want.
Yeah.
In 1986, Islanders right-wing Mike Bossy scores his 499th and 500th career goals in the final 222. That's probably minutes.
Yeah.
To lift the New York to a 7-5 victory over the Boston Bruins. 11th player in NHL history to score 500 goals.
Nice.
Congratulations, Mr. Bossy.
Yes. He is the boss. The bossy.
Yes.
We also have in 1987, the year that I was born, troops of Chadian President Hissene Habre conquered the Fada Oasis. All right, go Chad, or dictator of Chad. So not good. So they're overtaking things. So that's war. We also have in 1988, Mulroney and Reagan signed Canada-U.S. Free Trade Agreement. I guess it has to be before NAFTA. When was NAFTA?
Wasn't it the same year?
1994, yeah. No, NAFTA was 6 years later. So this is the U.S. and Canada, and then NAFTA, the North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement, is Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. Which, if you go from top to bottom, Canada, well, never mind. But yeah, no, Canada, United States, and then Mexico, it spells something that's kind of disgusting. So, then we also have pro wrestling here in 1990. Sting Jones Pro Wrestling legendary Four Horsemen, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, and Ole Anderson. So, and with Sting, I guess. So.
Not to be confused with a rock musiker of the same pseudonym.
Ric Flair?
No. Oh, Sting.
Oh, Sting. Yeah. Yeah, different Sting. So, but just as venomous.
I hope not. And in 1992, Australian cricket spin bowling great Shane Warne, we talked about him also before, 145 tests, 708 wickets and 194 ODIs, makes test debut versus India in third test at Sydney Cricket Ground.
Cricket wicket.
Yes. In 1993, opposing factions in the Bosnian conflict hold meetings with the aim of ending the 9-month conflict. Wow.
Good.
You wish it all ended there.
Yeah. Well, like I hear that. Speaking of like you know, ending conflicts and such, I've heard that. Speaking of more current events here, so it's more news than history. But Ukraine is talking about maybe having some peace talks with Russia to finally end this thing. So, but yeah.
Ukraine does the peace talks and Russia does not. 1995, the most distant galaxy yet discovered was found by scientists using the Keck telescope in Hawaii, estimated 15 billion light years away.
Huh. Keck.
So, if you want to fly there, it will cost you a lot and take a long time.
Well, let's see here. Most distant galaxy.
I mean the galaxy, not Hawaii.
Yeah. It says the most distant galaxy is GNZ11. It is a high redshift galaxy found in the constellation Ursa Major. It is one of the farthest known galaxies from Earth ever discovered. So one of the. So what is the farthest galaxy? Well, it's the same one here. This was discovered in 2015, though. So this is later. So this apparently this furthest galaxy has since been broken. I think. I don't know. But.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. So that's going to require a little bit of digging. So.
Yeah.
But you have one more, right? I think.
I think I did my 3.
Okay. We have 1996. The U.S. deployed troops in northern Bosnia with the intention of maintaining order and peace between Bosnian Serbs and Muslims, and that doesn't seem to have worked. So, I think I don't know. That entire area is just foobar. So, let's see here. I'm gonna do the split before we get into the 2000s. So, welcome to part 2. We're gonna move on up into the year 2014, in which Raul Castro gave a speech commemorating the 55th anniversary of the Cuban Revolution and warns of neoliberal and neocolonial thinking entering the country. And yeah, you're very right about that. So, and we got another historical event here in 2015. The Economist lists Daniel Kahneman, as the 7th most influential economist in the world. Well, yeah, you got to be a con man to be in the economy, you know. Economy.
Oh my God!
Hey,
you
can't sell economy without con.
Yes.
So.
In 2016, Saudi Arabia executes 47 alleged terrorists, including Shia cleric Sheikh Nimr al-Nimr.
Dang.
In 2017, Michael van Gerwen of the Netherlands wins his second PDC World Darts Championship, beating defending champion Gary Anderson 7-3 at the Alexandra Palace in London.
Nice.
Yeah. And in 2018, WHO, that's the World Health Organization, reveals it will classify gaming addiction as mental health condition in its next classification of diseases.
I remember when they were talking about that. They were there's stuff as far back as like the early 2000s, like 2008, 2009. Things like World of Warcraft, which I unfortunately fell into hard. Like gaming addiction is a real thing, and it's on par with like drug addiction, alcohol, hard stuff,
And from my observation, I cannot speak scientifically, but there's also a kind of addiction to buying games that you will never play.
Oh, well, that's just Steam sales. So.
Yeah, but there's also some kind of collection addiction, something like that.
Yeah, well, like, some people out there, like, I don't know how, but they have, like, the entire collection of all, like the truck simulator or whatever, like, or, like, the train simulator game that has, like 1,000 expansion packs or something like that,
yeah.
Yeah. It's absolutely baffling. So.
Yeah.
We're going to move on up into 2019 as well. 2 women became the first ever to enter India's Sabrimala shrine in Kerala state after a law change promoting protests. So, cool it's cool that the women were able to go in there. It's sad that there are so many people opposed to that. So
you're not interested in Tim Cook?
Oh, I had a brain fart. I overlooked him. 2019 as well. Apple CEO Tim Cook blamed below expectation Chinese iPhone sales for downturn in company's outlook, rocking international stock markets. So, yeah, we got to pull out of China, guys. Pull out. Come on. We also have in 2021, U.S. President Donald Trump said to Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, "I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is more than we have," in quotes, in a recording released by the Washington Post. That sounds like anything involving Trump. I take with a grain of salt. There's so much effort to destroy this guy, and he's not a good guy, but I mean,
wasn't the Washington Post behind this racist conspiracy theory about Russia having taken over the U.S. elections?
Yeah, and that's after one of their own, Hillary Clinton, said, what was it, plutonium or something to Russia, or uranium. She sold like a bunch of uranium to Russia, but that's okay apparently because she's on the right side or the left side, whatever, So.
Yeah.
And I'm not even. I don't even want to take this 2022 one. This is bullshit. So.
Yeah, that finishes the.
So, Before we move on to the births and deaths, were there any articles, speaking to the audience, were there any articles that grabbed your attention more than most? Anything that you wish we elaborated more about? Anything you would have liked to say had you been on the show? Start a dialogue in the comments section. Let's get on up into births here. Do you want to start us off in 1642?
Yes. One moment. Oh, I cannot. One moment. Now, in 1642, Mehmed IV, Turkish Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, from 1648 to 1687. He was born in Topkapi Palace in Constantinople and died in 1693.
Huh. Alright. Ooh, this
And
guy looks
in
familiar.
what?
I was just saying, this guy looks familiar.
Yeah, in 1727 we have James Wolfe. He was a British army officer who defeated the French in Canada and captured Quebec. Born in Westerham, England, and he died already in 1759.
Dang.
So that's only a bit over 30 years.
Yeah, let's see here. He was 32. Yeah, that's young. Huh. We also have Alice Mary Robinson, born on this date in 1854. She was an American educator, social worker, and the second woman in U.S. Congress, born in Tuolasi Mission, Indian Territory. Wow. So, like, born in a Native American, territory reserve area. That's cool. We also have, who else was born on this date? Come on, give me something. There we go. Isaac Asimov, 1920, a Russian scientist and sci-fi writer, I, Robot, and Foundation trilogy. Born in Petrivi, Russia, dying in 1992. And is this the inspiration for the movie I, Robot?
Yeah.
All right.
And he also wrote the wonderful, wonderful short story, The Last Question.
Huh.
Our readers, our viewers are welcome to read it.
I wonder if there's a sequel called The Final Answer.
That sequel was not by Asimov.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's The Final Solution. That's something else. Like,
I don't know if there's a...
Bad jokes, bad jokes. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when my humor comes for you? I don't know.
Yeah. So that's the only acceptable multivax that we can recommend to you. We will put it in the what is it called?
The description, the underbar. I see it. I'm posting it right now.
All right. In 1936, we have American country singer-songwriter Roger Miller. He wrote or sung "King of the Road" and "Dang Me." That's the actual song title.
Yeah.
He was born in Fort Worth, Texas.
Nice. Yeah, he has 70s hair going on right there. Huh.
Yeah.
Familiar. Oh, this
he,
guy. Okay.
In 1939, we have Jim Baker, or Baker, or however he's pronounced. It's his 84th birthday today. He's American televangelist, Assemblies of God, and the PTL Club, and convicted fraud. Oh, I wanted to make a joke, but he already is convicted. So he was born in Muskegon, Michigan.
Yeah, he looks like a fraud. He has like, he kind of looks like his mouth. It's like the Jack Nicholson Joker. He kind of has that look with his mouth right there. So,
Yeah.
He looks like a fraud. Going to move on up into, let's see, 1961. We have Gabrielle Carteris, a U.S. actress. She was Andrea in Beverly Hills 90210. Born in Scottsdale, Arizona. I know, kind of where that is. I've had people over there. Actually, yeah. So she is she's 62 years old today, so happy birthday to her. And then we also have Cuba Gooding Jr. Hey, look at that, 55 years old. Happy birthday to you too. Born on this date in 1968. He is a U.S. actor, Boys in the Hood, as well as Gladiator. Oh yeah, that's right, he played that guy in Gladiator. As Good as It Gets, Jerry Maguire, born in the Bronx, New York. And actually, no, he wasn't that one guy in Gladiator. He played, apparently, a character named Gladiator in Boys in the Hood. I'm not sure. Never saw that movie, though, but...
I don't know. So, Let's continue also. Oh no, it's 1 year later. In 1969, we have the 54th birthday of Christy Turlington. She's an American model for Calvin Klein Eternity. She was born in San Francisco, California.
I want to answer a question in my head. Cuba Gooding Jr., Gladiator. Let's see here. So let's see. Images. Was he in the movie Gladiator? Okay, so no, he was, yeah, he was boxer Gladiator. Okay, so he wasn't that. He didn't play in like the Rome movie Gladiator. No. Sorry, I just wanted to get that out of my head.
All right. In 1969 also, it was the birthday of Tommy Morrison, American boxer, WBO heavyweight title in 1993, and actor in Rocky V. He was born in Gravette, Arkansas, and he died in 2013.
Did he play that Russian guy? Hold on a second. Rocky V. Rocky V. No, I guess he just played something else. I don't know who the Russian guy in Rocky V was. But, yeah. Alright. We also have, in today's bursts, we have Bryson Tiller, born on this date in 1993, is 30 years old. He is a U.S. singer and rapper. Don't Exchange Wild Thoughts, born in Louisville, Kentucky. Huh. And then we're going to just roll on into deaths here. I'm going to start us off in the year 17.
I would have two more births that I found interesting, but
okay, go for it.
In 1946, we have Richard Cole, American tour manager for Led Zeppelin. And in 1975, we have Doug Robb, American singer for Hoobastank. One of their songs is The Reason. He was born in Agoura Hills, California.
Oh, cool. Moving on into deaths, we have, in the year 17, we have Ovid, was a Roman poet, Metamorphosis, died at around the age of 59, it's unclear, so. But we also have, in 1904, so that's one hell of a time jump there, we have James Longstreet. He was a U.S. Confederate, or not U.S., an American Confederate general. Confederate wasn't U.S., Confederate States. First Corps ANV, whatever that is, dies at the age of 82. So all the way in 1904, so wow.
Who doesn't know the United States of Confederacy?
Well, hey, I was born in an area that was formerly the CSA, so.
Born in the CSA.
I don't think that has the same ring to it.
I hope not. Anyway, it doesn't say. Oh, it's Army of Northern Virginia.
Okay.
Anywho, in 1950 we have Emil Jannings, a German actor who played in Faust, The Blue Angel, The Way of All Flesh. He dies of liver cancer at 65, and he was born in 1884.
Ah. Oh yeah, I've been kind of skipping out on the birth dates of these people who've been dying on this date. So.
All right, in 1977 we have Errol Garner. I hope that's the correct pronunciation of the first name. He was American jazz pianist for Misty, or the song was Misty, I don't know. No, the band probably. He died at 53, and he was born in 1923.
Ah. Rest in peace to him. We also have Bill Veeck in 1986, a U.S. Baseball Hall of Fame executive, owner of the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians that got the World Series in 1948, as well as the St. Louis Browns. Died of lung cancer at the age of 71, and he was born in 1914. So damn, he owned 3 baseball teams. That's insane.
Yeah, and maybe you can also take the one in 1981.
1981 here, we have David Lynch, a U.S. singer for the Platters, Twilight Time, Only You, and The Great Pretender, died of cancer at the age of 51. That's unfortunate. Wow, that's pretty young.
If you see any other interesting one, feel free to take it. Otherwise, I think we're done for today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just.
We have in 2009 we have Jed Travolta, son of actors John Travolta and Kelly Preston, dies of a seizure at only 16 years
Oh
old.
man, that sucks, dude. That's
And
awful.
at the same time, as a stark contrast, we have Maria de Jesus, Portuguese supercentenarian, dies at 115 years old.
Wow, so she lived 99 years more than this guy did.
Yeah.
Dang. Let's see if there's man, it's kind of weird saying 2022 and realizing that that's the past. Like, time is just going by so quick. You know, it's nuts. It's scary.
That happens at the beginning of each year, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that shall conclude.
Sometime in March, you will realize it's 2023.
Yeah, that's how it takes, you know. And good luck, like, dude. Do you remember back in the day, like, you know, when you're like, you know, into school, you know, you're like writing down the date on your assignment, and you had to like scribble out the previous year, like, oh wait, no, we're in another year now.
I think that happened a few times to me also.
Yeah. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, you can check the underbar in the description for any links you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Go check out all that stuff. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 10 in the morning Pacific Time, which is 11 Mountain, 12 Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and
7 p.m. German time.
Yep. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I am Protoblob.
And you, of course, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, or if you're interested in notable events, weather, and sports, we have a news show coming up in a few hours at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. So whenever you do see us, until then, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles!
Toodles!